Well, hello everyone. It's been a really long time since I've done one of these album rankings. I'm going to do the last of the Hawkwind ones to do a little final promotion of my book. I was going through all these decades, and I'm going to finish up with my favourite Hawkwind live albums, because there's so many great live albums. Yeah, I hadn't done it for a while. I mean, I wanted to listen through like all the Hawkwind live albums, as many as I could. I actually listened to about 20, and often a couple of times through as well. So I got my top 10. I'll do my top 10 for the show, and yeah, I want to get into doing more album rankings this year, so look out for some more. But yeah, it's all to finally promote this book, which is still on sale. Getting close. So it's the Hawkwind Fans Worldwide Facebook Top 40 Albums, favourable on Amazon, £15. It's £12 if you want to get it posted to you if you're within the UK, and it's £10 if I personally know you and I can give you a book by hand, kind of thing. But yeah, look out for Amazon. Sometimes do deals as well, so you may be able to get it cheaper than 15, hopefully. I did want to make it cheaper, but I don't really make much money out of the books as it is, so but anyway, yeah, it's sold pretty well, and it's pretty cool. It kind of a little different. I sort of have the album there, do a small review, and then you get some Facebook comments, so it's kind of done a bit like that. I've got polls for members and lineups and all that kind of stuff, so it's yeah, really good stuff. Buy it, I appreciate it. It's good for a fan, and good if you don't know that much about Hawkwind even. It's pretty cool for that. So I'm going to compare my top 10 live albums to what was the top 10 in the book, actually, just to see how we compare. And there are quite a few differences, actually, so it will be interesting. I won't tell you what live albums got in the top 40 poll, just the live albums, don't want to spoil anything. So yeah, here we go. I've got all 10 albums apart from one. I don't have one, but I have 90 albums. So we start off with and again, it was quite a difficult choice because there's so many good live albums. But at number 10, I've got this one, Palace Springs. I think this come out in about 91, but the recordings from 89. It was basically their first American tour with the new lineup with Bridget Wishart, also Richard Chadwick. And you got Alan Davian, Dave Brooke and Harvey Bainbridge, so that's the lineup. And nothing inside. Cool, colourful album cover, actually, I like it. And yeah, it's really good. I mean, for me, actually, the first two songs, I believe, are studio songs, and I really love them. Back in the Box, great song, and Treadmill is a really good, kind of underrated Hawkwind song. But they do, yeah, Void of the Golden Light. They had to rename a lot of these songs for some reason, some sort of law, you know, music thing. But yeah, Lives of Great Men, Time We Left, Heads, Acid Test, and then Damnation Alley, which are a really good version of Damnation Alley by David. I think Bridget Wishart does a little bit reggae bit in between that as well. But yeah, so yeah, really good album. Good live album. So that's my number 10. You actually liked it quite a bit. So that come in 6 actually in your list. So number 9 for me. I've just got this on CD. It's Live 1990 in Nottingham, and this was actually part of this was a video called Live Legends, VHS video, and I think it's for this show. I think it was called something like Bedrock or something. It was like this guy would introduce the band, and it was different bands each week kind of thing. It wouldn't be a full concert, it would be like an hour of the concert, that kind of thing, edited a little bit, but they were pretty good, and Hawkwind were on that. So actually it was quite bright with like lots of lights and TV cameras and stuff, so it was kind of a different sort of atmosphere for Hawkwind. But this live at Nottingham has a couple of sets actually, a little bit confusing what's what. I think the last bunch of songs are from the Bedrock, and the other songs are from Nottingham, I would presume, from shows they've done at either on the day or the day before. I'm not entirely sure. I did forget to say actually, I think Simon House is on Persimmons, is he? Yeah, Simon House. So this is yeah, basically the same lineup. Brock, Bainbridge, Davey, Simon House, Chadwick and Bridget Wishart. So that's from the video. And yeah, so there's really a lot of songs on it actually. Really well produced, it sounds great. There's a few like bits and pieces that are kind of chopped and edited a little bit, which kind of spoils the flow a little bit, but it is really well produced. And there's a couple of like you get some songs twice because of 2 sets, but Snake Dance is awesome, I love that. Yeah, and actually the Bedrock stuff is really good. Back in the Box is excellent on that. Damnation Alley again. Out of the Shadows is cool. Yeah, so yeah, all the stuff from that sort of era. The Seventh Star I think was a new song at the time, but yeah, so good stuff. So yeah, live 1990. So I had that at 9, you had that at 10. So yeah, cool. Next on my list is, I was at this show actually, not that I remember it because I was pretty drunk actually, I drank too much beforehand, but this is from 2000, this is the Yule Ritual, and this was a, I think this was either, I think this might have been the same year as Hawkestra. They did the special Hawkestra, and then all the sort of people that Brock didn't fall out with basically did a similar thing for the new year, which was this Yule Ritual. So this has lots of guests as well, and yeah, I don't remember the show that much, but I remember it being good. And this is again a very well produced album. It also, I love Hawkestra, one of my favourite gigs of all time, but this one feels a little bit more in control actually. But yeah, lots of guests on here as well. So there's the Live at the Astoria, by the way, which is no longer there anymore. Yeah, Brock Chadwick, Alan Davey, Ron Tree, guest Timberlake, Simon House, Jerry Richards, Michael Marcotte, Keith Kniverton, Jess Haggett and Captain Riz. So yeah, lots of people involved. There's a couple of new songs that are really good. Money Tree I really like, that's a great song. Damage of Life, I think it's an old Brock solo number, but that's really good as well. Flying Doctor's cool in it. Oh yeah, you get Michael Moorcock on the phone doing Wars on the Edge of Time and Sonic Attack, which worked really well, and so his performance is like really theatrical and over the top. And because of the phone connection, kind of suited the kind of subject matter. Yeah, it was really good. Freefall was really good. Assassins of Valor on here is great as well. Yeah, so yeah, really good. Tim Blake does Lighthouse. Yeah, really good live album. Ooh. So that was my number 8, and it's your, again, you like this quite a lot, it's your 5th favourite live album. So yeah, next, this is pretty awesome. This is this originally come out as a compilation album with other bands, and then Hawkwind released their entire set, which is amazing. This is the Greasy Truckers Party, live in '72 at the Roundhouse. I've got the, I wonder if I can grab it quickly. I've got the original as well. Should be in my various. Come on. There we are. Well, there's the original, but this had like Man by Santium, Magic Mike. It had a few other people on it, Brinsley Schwartz, and it only had a couple of Hawkwind songs in it. But this has the whole set, and it's really awesome. This is probably like Hawkwind at their rawest and sort of more really aggressive. It's just really in your face, this album. So you got the lineup would be Brock, Lemmy on bass, Calvert, Simon King, Dick, Mick and Dell on the electronics, and Nick Turner, of course. Rest in peace, Nick Turner, by the way. I forgot to mention. Yeah, so this has an insane intro. This is your captain speaking. You shouldn't do that. It's ferocious. You got like The Awakening, Master Universe, which is on the original Greasy, is a really good version. What else you got? Paranoia, Earth Calling, Silver Machine. Yeah, the first time you hear Silver Machine is on this, and you can tell why they wanted to re-record it. The vocals aren't great, but they took the music and added Lemmy's vocals and a few overdubs to improve it. You got Welcome to the Future. Born to Go is awesome on this album, really awesome, and I just love the way Brock's sort of raw guitar soloing at the end is just amazing. I love it. Brainstorm Jam is interesting. It's like they were jamming this new song called Brainstorm. So it's no vocals, it's just like a jamming of the riff, which is interesting. So yeah, really good album. Born to Go is on the original LP as well, but this one's like longer basically, so yeah, really good. So yeah, awesome. So here's the gatefold. Good stuff. So yeah, so I have this as number 7, and you have this at number 9. Excellent. Yeah, so what's next? Yeah, unfortunately I don't have this album, which is a shame. I must pick it up, but the thing is I always want the original vinyl, and it goes for like way too much money. My dad had it. I think my sister's got it actually. It was, if I can remember, it was a gatefold live album that folded from the middle, and it was white vinyl. I'm talking about The Business Trip. Really great album. I ain't got the info up here, actually, forgot, but I'm quite into the album, so I've got a reasonable memory of that one. I think my sister might have it, actually. So it was a tour that I was at. I think it's live in Slough, which is quite unusual. Really well, good produced live album again. A lot of you can hear the crowd cheering and stuff like that. It feels like a really sort of exciting live gig. I've got to say, like, LSD on this album is awesome, really awesome. It has the camera that could lie, reggae bit in the middle before finishing off at the end, which is the highlight of the album. A really good Green Thing Demons, excellent on there. You know, lots of sort of different You Shouldn't Do That is on it, lots of different versions of songs. I'm trying to think of the songs. Welcome to the Future at the end is on it. A few new kind of instrumental things like the Berlin Axis. There's sort of bits and pieces of that. This was on the Business Trip. This was on the Business of Future to Be Dangerous tour, so I think it's sort of around 93, something like that. The album probably come out in 94. What else do I like in it? I like the there's like the Iron Dream sort of ending, which is really good as well. Wasteland is on it. Ooh, I'm sure I've Golden Void. The thing is, it's interesting. They a bit around this time, and this album especially, it used to annoy me a bit actually, but I hear they had to do it because of some sort of legal licensing thing, but they rename all the old songs pretty much. I thought it was a bit iffy, I thought, because then they put their credits on it, so I'm sort of like, their credits for now, if you know what I mean, so I'm sort of a little bit like dubious about that, but yeah, all the songs all the old songs are pretty much slightly renamed, but we know what the songs are. You know You're Only Dreaming's on it as well, actually. So yeah, it's a really good live album, really love it, and yeah, that's my 6 and your 4th, so you're a big fan of that album too. It is really good, so yeah, shame I haven't got it. So this next album, I'm really surprised actually isn't even in your top 10, because this is great. Maybe it just passed people by a bit, but I actually love it. Maybe it's not an official live album, I don't know, but this is the Hawkwind, the birthday party 1999, or the 1999 party I should say. Recorded on their first American tour in about I think it's 74, it says it here actually, yeah, March 74, so a lot of the songs are from Haunted Mountain Grill, but the album actually hadn't come out yet, so it was quite brave to sort of do that. I mean, Hawkwind don't care, they do that sort of thing anyway. So there's the back. They actually come in a kind of box thing. That's a terrific album. Comes with a nice post inside the CD. Got the Space Ritual kind of set up. It wasn't the Space Ritual tour, but yeah. So on this you got Brock Turner, Lemmy on bass, Dale Detmar, Simon King on drums, and they bring in Simon House on synths as well, and he certainly brings a different kind of vibe to the band actually. But let's have a look at the inside. So you got like cool inside covers as well. Yeah, getting closer really so you can see. I never know what way to go with the camera. So my eyes can see this small bloody print. So it's really good. It's Hawkwind in 74, so it's going to be great. You got a lot of Calvert had left by then, so you got Nick Turner doing all the poems. So you got the brilliant Stand on the Edge, Brainbots Pollution is great. It's So Easy is really good. You Know You're Only Dreaming is great on this. Yeah, Veterans of a Thousand Psychic Wars, and sort of probably wouldn't have been heard too much around that time. Yeah, 7x7 is really good. Yeah, Paradox, You Better Believe It. D-Rider. So yeah, all the classics. A lot from Hall actually. But yeah, fantastic live album. I'm kind of surprised, and it's the whole gig as well. So I'm quite surprised to not see it in the top 10 live albums. I did put it in the honourable mentions album section. So yeah, really great album. Definitely worth getting. I think it's only available on CD. But yeah, go get it. Right, what are we on now? Oh, number 4. So my number 4, and again, yeah, it's quite low down in your list of live albums, but I've always loved this live album. I think like certain albums you grew up with, don't you? You know, so this is really good. This is Hawkwind, Do Not Panic. This is Hawkwind, Do Not Panic. Kind of known as the Stonehenge album as well. Although, funny enough, it's a double album, but the second side is a 12-inch actually. And that's the only stuff from Stonehenge. The rest is recorded, I think, around the sort of Levitation album tour. So you got Brock, Lloyd-Langton, Bainbridge, Davey, Turner. You know, he was on the Stonehenge show. Danny Thompson on the Stonehenge. Keith Howe would have been sort of Levitation Time, and Baker, Ginger Baker, was Levitation Time as well. So some fantastic versions of live songs. Cy Power is awesome on this. I don't know if I showed you the inside cover. It's a cool inside cover. That's from Stonehenge. But my favourite version of Levitation is on this. Levitation is amazing on this album, really is. Circles is actually the 5th second of Forever. I don't know why they renamed it Circles. You got Space Chase, which is great. Death Trap, good version of that. Angel of Death is really good. Kind of slower Angel of Death on it, actually. Shot Down in the Night, Swindle's Song. And then you got the 2 Stonehenge songs on the B-side, which is Stonehenge Decoded, which is just, I think it was them in the morning, just basically jamming and stuff. And then a brilliant, really excellent, my favourite version of the Inner City Unit track, Watching the Grass Grow. Really aggressive, ferocious version of that. So yeah, really good album. Love it. But yeah, so I have that as my number 4, but you have it down at number 7. So there you go. So there's probably not a lot of surprises with my top 3. It's pretty much everyone's top 3. These are sort of like the 3 kind of classic live albums in a lot of ways. So I've actually got this one. This one's actually signed. These are my dad's albums, and he got this signed. So number 3, I got Live 79. If you look closely, you might see some signature on the wings and stuff. So yeah, Live 79, that's a bright album cover, isn't it? Really great album. Quite short, but in a way, short and sweet was pretty good. You can get the whole collection of this album now. They did release it a while back. It wasn't very good sort of quality. But I believe you can get Live 79 with the extra tracks on the CD now. But yeah, what a great album. For me, it was considered to be a bit of a comeback by Hawkwind. Obviously, I wasn't really around at the time, but it feels like it. It feels very sort of quite focused, and the tempos are a little bit more exciting and quicker. They bring back Hugh Lloyd-Langton, which has a very distinctive sound. Simon King's still on the album, although this would be the last thing he did with the band. Tim Blake comes in from his solo stuff in Gong, so he joins the band. You got Harvey Bainbridge still. And yeah, it's again quite brave, because they actually start off with a couple of like not really heard brand new songs. Like Shot Down in the Night was actually a Steve Swindle single, I believe, and he joined Hawklords, and so you got Shot Down in the Night, Motorway City, a brilliant version of Motorway City, I think, and that hadn't been heard before. A really awesome version of Spirit of the Age, very different to the original, sung by Brock, more shouty. And then you got some short, sharp shock sort of versions. Brainstorm, a really good up-tempo version of that. The thing with this Brainstorm is the way they shout Brainstorm, here I go, is a style that they sort of stuck with for the rest of Hawkwind's career. Brainstorm, here I go, brainstorm, flying low. They stuck with that kind of style of singing Brainstorm right up till today, actually. So yeah, quite important. You got Timberlake's brilliant Lighthouse. You got a quick kind of ferocious version of Master Universe, which is really good. And then you got the brilliant and slightly annoying Silver Machine. What they decided to do, it's called Silver Machine Requiem, is to sort of blow it up after about a minute. I think as a protest to not wanting to play it anymore at concerts, which is fair enough. But it's a really good sounding version of Silver Machine. And I've never been able to get hold of the full version of it. I'm not sure if it even exists. But it's a really awesome version of it. So I'm kind of gutted it got blown up. And even more annoyed when they just resurrected it again in a couple of years. But never mind. But yeah, fantastic live album. good stuff. Again, really sounds great, production wise, you know. Got like a lot of people's got a sort of new wave of British heavy metal kind of vibe to it. I guess that was the sort of thing going on at the time, but yeah, really good. So my 1 and 2 are basically, they're the two legendary classic Hawkwind live albums. It's really interesting because they both sound completely different and they're both brilliant. And more remarkable is they're only 13 years apart. You think about 13 years now, that's nothing, that's no time at all. But back in those days, you know, 13 years was, you know, like a lifetime musically, from the 70s to 80s. So my number 2, oh yeah, where was Live 79? Oh yeah, you voted that third as well. So yeah, so I'm gonna vote my number 2, which is your number 2, is the brilliant Live Chronicles. Great album cover as well. I like that album cover. I like the album cover to Chronicles of Black Sword as well. So brilliant live double album. I believe it was recorded at Hammersmith Odeon. Just the sound of it, the sound is amazing on it. I do recommend don't buy the video VHS or DVD because the quality of the picture is actually pretty poor. I mean, get it for, you know, if you're a bit of a collector, it's something to have, but I'd just rather listen to this. It just sounds better, you know, and not have the visuals. Yeah, nothing inside, just a double album. But what an album. Basically, you know, it was the Elric tour, so they tried to recreate a kind of theatrical Elric on the stage. So you had dancers. I think at one point Danny Thompson, the drummer, come off and had a sword fight, and so it had that kind of vibe to it. But it's just brilliant all the way through. You know, a lot of songs from Black Sword, Song of the Swords, a brilliant version of Dragons and Fables. Love the version on here. All the narrations done by Harvey Bainbridge. There was Michael Moorcock on the video. There is Michael Moorcock narration actually. Seeking's great, Angel of Death, Rocky Paths is really cool. Good version of Master of the Universe. There's a few new songs as well which didn't make the album, which are really good. Dreaming Cities on it, that's good. Great noisy version of Choose Your Mask, love that. Needle Gun Sarracenia is really good. Then you got like the fight sequences. Then like one of my favourite Hawkwind songs ever, and I don't know if they didn't want to put it on Chronicles or it was recorded after, but it's one of their best songs ever. It's Moonglum. Moonglum is an amazing song. You got the Elric the Enchanter, which is the second part, but a song by Davey, which is really cool. Magnu's really good on here, and then it finishes off with Dust of Time and Horn of Fate. Such a good live album. Yeah, it's Brock, Davey, Lloyd-Langton, Danny Thompson and Harvey Bainbridge as the band lineup. But yeah, it's so good. So good. So, obviously that was your number 2. Like, obviously this is your number 1. I mean, it's one of them classic 70s live albums anyway, you know. It's up there as one of the sort of all-time great live albums. It's actually absolutely astonishing live album. Nothing sounds like it or has ever sounded like it since, really. And of course it's again a signed copy. It's Space, which I'll go in close to see the signatures. Like I said, I don't know where he got these signatures from actually, but the brilliant Space, absolutely fantastic album cover. I'll open it all up because it opens up into sort of a big old poster, which is really cool. Space Ritual is just raw, psychedelic, really aggressive actually, really bassy. I would say it was probably one of the most sort of heaviest extreme things of that era. I mean, it was recorded in 72, I think, released in 73, live at Brixton, Edmonton in London. I think my uncle was at the Edmonton gig actually. Yeah, just ferocious, noisy as hell. There's no let up, you know, there's musical bridges in between. Great space sounds, kind of like the pinnacle of that Dick and Dale kind of thing at the time. Yeah, maybe, you know, the production is quite raw, like, so maybe people might think it's quite too heavy on the bass, not really upper end in the guitar or the vocals, but it must have been quite hard to capture a good sound with a band like that, with so many people in the band. You know, you got obviously Nick doing the sax as well, but no, it's absolutely fantastic. So let's open it up. So you got the two cool inner sleeves. I wasn't able to put all this in my book, unfortunately, because the person doing the photographs wanted some money, really, and I don't have any money. So, but yeah, this is I don't know how to get up for that. So you got a brilliant opens that into these weird panels, which are quite interesting to read. I've got a naked woman there, hope I don't get into trouble. And that's the other side. So yeah, just really cool. It's that's like all one picture, or, you know, from the front cover out to the sides of the band. Yeah, what's it say? Flying is trying is dying. Master of the universe. We were born to go as far as we can fly, turn electric dreams into reality. Brainstorm, here I go. And yeah, interesting stuff in between. So yeah, song wise, if we can get to it, I know it pretty much off by heart, really. But again, at this time, they were writing a lot of stuff that weren't on albums. A lot of the songs from this are from thegreyman, but there's an awful lot of new songs that were playing at that tour around the time that weren't even released on albums. But so you got like Earth Calling. The way Earth Calling starts, it's just like always makes my hair stand up, like before it goes into that riff. Born to Go, awesome. Down Through the Night is quite different. It's because the original doesn't have drums, but this version has drums, which makes it sound a lot different. Brilliant poem, The Awakening. That one's actually written by Calvert. So I forgot Calvert obviously is on this as well. Really good version of Lord of Light. The Black Corridor, Moorcock, great poem. Space is Deep, brilliant version of Space is Deep. I love that version. You got Electronic Number 1, which is a Dick and Detmar kind of noise, electronic noise, which is interesting. It's an interesting album actually, because it's quite complicated, because they've had to edit a few bits to fit it onto a vinyl, and you can get other versions of Space Ritual which has these versions in its full, but it's kind of complicated to understand what show it is, really. So I've never been able to work out what song's what or anything like that, to be honest. But anyway, Upside Down, yeah, that's another new song. 10 Seconds of Forever, really good kind of intense poem actually by Calvert. Really like that. Great version of Brainstorm. I love the last side actually. 7x7 is amazing on this. Love the vocals between Dave and Lemmy on that particularly, and Space is Deep, funny enough. You get the famous Sonic Attack, kind of like the definitive version is on this, really, you know, with Lemmy and Calvert. And it's become like a Hawkwind staple now, isn't it? Sonic Attack, you know, one of the sort of all-time greatest poems by a band, you know, and you know that's always in the set. Time We Left This World Today is shortened, but really good track. Master Universe is particularly ferocious on this, very different to the original actually. It's way more sort of aggressive. And then you got the crazy Welcome to the Future with the mad kind of crash ending again. A new song, you know, song they've been playing on tour with them just like basically after the poem and smashing, like crashing all their instruments into a big crescendo at the end. You can't get much more better than that. So that's it. They did do encores again, like on I think, which you could get on other releases. Like you shouldn't do that encore. But yeah, such a great live album, absolute classic. Not a lot more I can add to that really. You all know that album anyway, so fantastic stuff. So obviously that was your number one. So yeah, thanks everyone for watching. That's my favourite 10 Hawkwind live albums. There was still quite a lot that I liked as well. Outside of 10, BBC 72 Love in Space live album, Spaced Out in London. I was at that gig. That's a good live album. California Brainstorm is really good. Atom Henge. The Roundhouse one is really good. So there are a lot more live albums out there. I don't recommend Bring Me the Head of You Gagarin, no. But you all know that. So yeah, thanks everyone for watching. So I'm going to finally leave Hawkwind and do another ranking. I think this one will be with my flatmate Graham. We're going to do the album rankings of the band Cathedral. Going to have a good old listen through all the albums. So really look forward to that one. So yeah, thanks everyone for watching. And yeah, if you want to buy the book, I ain't going to complain. It's one for the fans, this one is really good. So cheers everyone, and I'll see you soon.